Today we'll be reviewing functions. A function states that x cannot have more than one y value. The way I like to think about it is people and their birthdays. The people are the x values, and the y values are the birthdays. Jack has his birthday on March 3rd. Jill has her birthday on January 4th and April 17th. Jack shows a function because Jack has his birthday on one day. Jill is not a function because Jill has her birthday on 2 days. A person can only have one birthday unlike Jill. Jill has 2 birthdays, so Jill is not a function. Jack is a function because his birthday is on one day. Here, we are paying attention to the x values. When we are looking at functions, x values cannot repeat. So let's look at the x values. As you can see, the x values are 3. The x values repeat. So this is not a function because x values repeat. Let's look at this next one. This next one, let's look at the x values. We have 2, 3, -2, -3. In this example, the x values do not repeat. So this is a function. Yes, a function because x values do not repeat. Next, we're looking at a table. Again, we're still paying attention to the x values. Look at the x values of this table. Are there any x values that repeat? 4 and 4. Because those 4s repeat, no, not a function. Because that 4 has more than one y value. 4 repeats and has more than one y value. Look at this. This is called a mapping diagram. When we are looking at a mapping diagram, we are paying attention to how many arrows come from the x values. So we're going to put a circle around the x values. And we're looking at the arrows. This one has 1 arrow, this has 1 arrow, this has 1 arrow, and this also has 1 arrow. As you can see, each x value only has 1 arrow coming from it. That means this is a function. Another way that I like to do mapping diagrams is I like to write out the ordered pair. So, start with 0. The 0 has an arrow going to the 1. And it has an arrow, it doesn't have an arrow going to anything else. This 4 has an arrow going to the 5. So 4, 5. It doesn't have an arrow going to anything else. The 6 has an arrow going to the 7. And this 8 has an arrow going to the 7. It is okay for y values to repeat. It is not okay for x values to repeat. So if we look here, pay attention to the x values. Just like I said in the first example, the x values are people, the y values are birthdays. It is not okay for the x values, the people, to have more than one birthday. So none of these x values repeat, so therefore, yes, this is a function. Because no x value repeats. With graphs, we do a test. This test is called the vertical line test. Vertical means up and down. We need to draw a vertical line through the graph to see if it touches the graph more than once. So, I like to draw more than one vertical line because it's good to test it in different places. As you can see, this vertical line touches the graph more than one time in multiple places. What does that mean? That means it is not a function. It fails the vertical line test. Okay, you give it a try on this next one. That is a mapping diagram. Remember, we take the mapping diagrams and we turn them into ordered pairs. So first, we see this 2 is shared to the 0. So 2, 0. But as you can see, the 2 also has another line coming from it going to the 5. 2, 5. 3, 0. The 3 doesn't have any other lines. Let's move on. 5, 5. And then we have 7, 3. Look at your x values. Do any of your x values repeat? If your x values do not repeat, it is a function. If they do repeat, it is not a function. As you can see here, we have an x value that does repeat, the 2's. Because these 2's repeat, it is not a function. The x values repeat. Hopefully this video helps. If you can also reach out to your teacher, myself, Miss Adams, Miss Christopher, or Miss Buck to ask questions. Be sure to email us.